It's that time that you've all been waiting for. It's time for the grand final of the ESL Play Paragon Community Cup. We've got Team Oxygen, Team Carbon, the battle of the elements. Which one will prevail? Only time will tell, and I hope that we are going to be some of the first to know. So let's do it. I'm Pythian. I'm here with Gems, and we're going to introduce our teams real quickly here. So here we got B Certified. He's been playing the Rampage quite a bit today. Talkflit on his signature Faye. We've got iCameron playing the Murdoch. Layton on the Sevarog. New hero, Marty Rivia this time playing the Decker, and that is a combo that is sure to be devastating. Now for Team Carbon, it's going to be Detroit on the Howitzer, Nerf Mundo playing the Steel, Yo, I'm Mikey playing the Fang, but he's probably called Mikey, Klinghoffer on the Sparrow, and then finally Rustris, one of those. He's playing the Iggy and Scorch. So, how are you doing, Gems? Are you ready for this game?
I'm really hyped up for this game. I've played a lot and played with a lot of these players. They're all outstanding players, and hopefully we're going to see a really good, really close match between these two teams. Interesting point to note: Rustris not known for his Iggy, so I'm actually kind of happy to see him playing something slightly different in this blue lane. I'm hoping it'll work out for him, especially against this Rampage, and he should be able to push out the Rampage. Rampage should not be allowed to farm at all in this lane unless it's under a tower, and I'm hoping Rustris can punish him.
You're hoping. Are you cheering? Are you a Team Carbon fan straight?
I don't have any preference on either two of these teams. I'm just hoping to see a...
And I hope we all will see that good Paragon play. And we're going to have a little bit of aggression here on the mid lane. Talkflit, he's pushed back, but he's not actually going to be pushed out of tower range, which is the most important thing. But we've got a lot of rotations early onto the mid lane. So many heroes here. Sevarog's stun is going to miss Detroit. Yeah, absolutely blown up right there. Yo on Mikey, he's going to have to back up right now. The slow bubble from Decker is going to be enough right now. And Mundo only takes a little bit of the damage, but yeah, I can't really do too much to him. He's pretty tanky at this point in the game.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky. The counter engage was really strong from Oxygen. They came to help their buddy Talkflit. He was in a bit of a pickle, and they came back around to give him a lending hand, and they managed to turn that fight around. And now, typical Oxygen style, Mikey's going to probably fold here.
Oh, he's taking so much damage. He does manage to get
that
leap away. Oh no!
What
oh
a
no!
beautiful step from Layton, but
yeah, there's a lot of fire.
Come on. You're burning a bit there.
Yeah, just burning a little bit, getting roasted as they would call it. Rustris has to get away. He's just an Iggy, and his escape is not very good. He'll put down another Fire Spirit, but the stun is going to be enough to take him down. But B Certified, he's getting trashed, thrown right into tower range. Luckily though, luckily for him, they're creeps. They're just tanking it up.
Yeah, Oxygen, a bit too deep right there. It worked well for them, but they shouldn't be taking these risks. It worked out for them this time, but the issue is they don't have any wards, so they couldn't place any vision at that point in the game. So while they did get the kills, they can't do much else with them. They're going to just have a point advantage, which is they're going to look to use that advantage to take this black buff. That's what's going to be the next big fight.
Yeah, right. The blue side is actually Team Oxygen. They've got B Certified on their team. I guess that's kind of the strength of the Sevarog. He's so strong at this point in the game, and I mean they can just run at you with the Sevarog. He's very tanky, lots of burst damage, and the stun is just such a good tool for securing those early kills.
Yeah, his root is really good in the early stages. It's not that long, but it's enough to just be able to chain it along with a Decker stun, because Decker stun, to be able to reliably hit that, you have to be really close. You have to be up in their face and personal. But if there's a root on them, it's an easy chain onto the stun, so you can go snare into stun, and then just the siphons from Sevarog, especially if he's getting early game stacks, is going to be really strong.
Yeah, Detroit's still hanging out in the mid lane, going up against Faye. Faye's one of those interesting solo laners, good sustainability, and lots of good harass for her.
Yeah, her E is extremely strong in lane, because if she can hit a hero with it, it costs 0 mana, and that's her bread and butter in lane. He wants to just constantly be harassing with that E on the enemy laners for free, cost no mana, and then save your other spells for clearing the way for dealing with ganks. And looking at the points, Oxygen it's already hit that 9 point markers. They're going to be recalling. They've all recalled. They've all spent their money's worth and just gotten all those upgrades that they need in this early game. You can see certified already with a completed item. Same with Marty. Same with Leighton. Like all of them have done that, and that's going to be a huge boost in power, especially for this black buff fight.
So how important is it for Decker to get those levels up so she can get to the ultimate? How big is it for Team Oxygen this time around?
I'd argue it's not as important because essentially what Decker ult is going to be more of a zoning tool right now. It's not really a combo tool. They haven't really got anyone to combo inside of it. It's like a Gideon or a Howitzer. They've got Faye, but Faye doesn't really need it because it pulls them. And I think Decker's going to be more of a protection style play in this sort of game rather than the aggressive. You can use it to place it around your carries so Cameron can do his job. Basically, he's going to do his duty and sit there. He's going to be auto-attacking and pummeling out as much damage as possible. And they can use Leighton's huge swing on his ultimate just to keep them in there and put them in horrible positions. It's going to be a positioning tool, basically.
Yeah, I heard Sevarog is the Babe Ruth of Paragon. Do you know who Babe Ruth is?
No.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just go to the next topic then. Leighton's going up to the mid lane. There's a little bit of a fracas that could be starting here now. A couple heroes are just hanging out in the jungle. But, yeah, Talkflit, he's going to keep running. They want to put pressure onto the Team Carbon jungle, and she's looking for a couple of heroes, but they just go through the mid lane all through vision, and they might even trap themselves in here.
Yeah, it's Oxygen trying to get a pick, but Carbon has I think has read this. They know where Oxygen are. They're going to want to look for a collapse, but it looks like Oxygen are a bit caught out here. Cameron at the black buff.
Yeah, Cameron taking so much damage from this. Another steel ultimate, or steel shield. He's just on the... He got stuck on the tripwire. Decker ultimate just keeping him in there. And, well, you said it wasn't effective, but it definitely got the kill there. I guess he didn't realize that the ultimate was just going to keep knocking him in there. Maybe he thought he could jump over it. But now Detroit, he's in a ton of trouble. They're going to get pulled in with the Vine Trap. And Decker, another stun right on top of it. Detroit, long armor to the wall, pulling him in. There's going to be a nice send back from Detroit just to bump himself back to get him out of danger. But, man.
That's a pretty known Decker bug. You can get stuck inside the wall, and every time you hit the wall, it does a tick of damage. So if you get stuck inside of it, as we saw there, really horrible luck right there, to be honest, for that to happen to him, because that was looking really strong for Team Carbon, and Nerf just got in a really unlucky position with that bug and couldn't do much about it, to be honest.
Well, now Team Oxygen, they are trying to breathe a little bit here and get a few of those harvesters up. We talked a little bit in the other games how a lot of heroes tend not to utilize the harvesters early in the game, but we already have a very early side harvester, 8.5 minutes from Decker.
Yeah, Decker, Marty loves to grab his harvest. Kind of unique to his playstyle. He'll grab this early harvester key so he can get the levels. Because in lane, he's not going to hit level 5 at 6 minutes unless something drastic happens. So he uses that harvester key to get some XP by grabbing the inner harvester and the left harvester, so he gets that early ult on the Decker, which I really love. Now, card points advantages across the board from Oxygen. They're all at 12, whereas Nerf Mundo, he's struggling a little bit right now. He's sitting at that 6-point advantage. But even if he is at 6, he's got that ultimate, and that can potentially completely swing matches around.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if it's about to turn around right now. Rustress, he's got his fire traps, and he really just wants to play around them, but he's got a big, mean, angry Sevarog. He's going to get that Belch off, but he's been sent back. That's a good synergy to try to fight that. Once Iggy goes for the Belch, you can just kind of send him back so he's not in range for the knockback at all, and that's going to be a nice, easy kill for the two tanks roaming over to the right lane.
Yeah, it's a good pick from Oxygen again on Rustress. Rustress, a bit out of position right there. He thought he was going to be safe and be able to run as Iggy, but there's so much in terms of crowd control from Team Oxygen. You cannot... They won't let you run, basically. You're going to be snared and stunned, then knocked back and forth like a pinball machine, and it's just not going to go well for him.
Oh, do you know what a pinball machine is? I thought those were a bit before your time.
Everyone's played pinball, especially if you've had the Windows system. That was the best.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Back on, like, Windows 95 when I was born.
Yeah, by far the best you can have. And left lane, Cameron trying to get a fight starting here with Marty, and they got Kling.
Oh no, Steel, he's jumping in. He stops Decker in his tracks, but they've got Kling inside the Decker ultimate. Nerf Mundo, he's going to be slamming around. And they're going to put the Decker slow bubble a little bit early. Do they kill Mundo? They've got the Sevrog here. They miss the stun, though. And I think that's going to be the end of their aggression there. They've got a lot of heroes to defend this left tower.
It's going really well. And currently, a minute and a half to black. And hopefully we can see a good match, a good fight happening right now for this tower. But Detroit...
Oh, he's getting pulled in with that Faye ultimate, and they're going to drop it. They're going to make it rain from above. Marty, they're all going to back up. They're kind of low on mana, so at least Team Carbon are able to defend the tower, but they're just not really getting too much out of the map right now. Like maybe Iggy's pushing a little bit, but...
Cameron, as always, he's been playing fantastically this tournament. His ultimates have always been on point, and as we saw right there, Kling got completely deleted in that fight. Now, what Carbon need to do right now is use their comp as well as they can. They have a really strong combo with Mikey and Nerf. If they can time that onto one person, that person will die regardless of this card point deficit. If Mikey can get this out, and we're going to see, hopefully he can do it right now.
Mid, Talkfoot trying to fly away, and he's not able to get anything off his Faye. Faye sometimes doesn't really have the best control, and Layton's, he's been pulled back outside the tower by Detroit. He might try to go for the man fight. He'll just slam him back underneath the tower. Going for the body blocks. Does he kill Howitzer? It's going to be enough. They actually take down the Howitzer. Great kill for Layton. Just slamming him back in underneath the tower. And here comes Cameron just running up the mid lane. Rustress trying to back up, and this guy doesn't really have the best escape. Oh, the bouncing ball of stuns. It's going to keep him there for a couple more seconds. A Steel ultimate. They're all jumping into it. It's going to be an absolute massacre on the mid lane because Cameron, he's taking so much damage from Fang, but Fang doesn't have the traverse anymore. Be certified. They've got the rampage. He's just slapping at the creeps, trying to make sure that they don't hurt his friends. And I think he's going to fulfill his destiny there.
Yeah, Cameron's so low, but they couldn't finish him off. They just didn't have any mana left. Yo and Mikey had nothing left. Bash just couldn't carry on chasing him. Really well done on the disengage from Oxygen and Carbon. They didn't have any globals, so they're going to struggle on the clean. And while the shield slam was near perfection, just on two players, they had no real strong follow up there.
Yeah, it was a great shield slam, just stopping that Decker aggression. But unfortunately, like, it's a bit early in the game for the teams really to take too many kills off of that, and the fight was a bit spread out that they weren't able to synergize as well as they might have wanted to.
Yeah, now Carbon still completely in this game. They have all the opportunities to win. I think they need to send some resources over to Mundo. Mundo, a little bit starved here. He needs a little bit of love right now. He's sitting on that 9 points right now with only 2 farm.
Looks like
that is not looking
Certified
nice.
Is on a bit of a vacation inside of the orange jungle. He's got his leap away. He goes over towards the mid lane, and there's a ton of heroes ready to fight. Decker ultimate going to get dropped through. It's only going to catch Rustress inside of it, and that's going to be a very early and easy AG kill for them. They did take a little bit of damage off of it, but they can try to keep pursuing this. Unfortunately, the mid tower is still available, so it's highly unlikely that they actually kill Detroit. But Sevrog, he's looking for it. He misses the stun.
I loved what Marty did there. He used his containment field just to single out one person. Single out that one guy. The enemy team cannot follow up without going inside your ultimate. I mean, they could have potentially ran in, but they weren't going to be able to hit anyone from that position, and completely controlled that area of the fight, which allowed them to get that pick on rushers.
Still a lot of pushes around the map, and it looks like Team Oxygen, they just keep pressuring Team Carbon at this point, kind of starving them out of the map. And the card points are still kind of close, but a couple of those heroes, they're not really doing as well as they could be at this point.
Yeah, they're going to want to take this left tower from Oxygen right now. They need to take this tower, because by taking this left tower, as I've said before, you get the advantage to take the Orb Prime for later on. And it's going to be tricky, because Detroit and Rustress have a really good, strong AoE damage, and they can clear the waves extremely well, which means taking this tower is going to be up to be certified to tank it. And if you can't tank it for long enough, Oxygen could falter, and I think that's what Team Carbon's going to need to happen.
It's interesting, B certified. He kind of started out the game in the right lane, but now there's really been no one showing up in there as he's just trying to jungle as much as possible, keep his farm going, get some CXP. I'm a little bit surprised that neither team has really gone for that lane at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit tricky, to be honest. The Harvesters are up for Oxygen now as well. They're going to look like they're going to get all three potentially, which is going to give them enough to keep this advantage, basically, even if they just evenly farm. And hopefully, Carbon, it's nearing the 16-minute mark. We're going to be seeing a lot of cards being completed and getting that bonuses with those upgrades. And I think that's what they're going to need to win this fight, because Oxygen sitting at 21 card points across the board on a majority of their players, whereas the closest Carbon has is on 18 right now. And builds nothing too out of the ordinary. I do like Leighton having Harvester keys and selling that now they've got control. And Tainted Magic on the Rustress on the Iggy at 15 points. He's gone for the early upgraded Tempered Plate, which hopefully give him a bit of survivability, which he sorely needs right now.
Well, still no towers being taken here. There is one quite low for blue side, but both teams are just trying to get some farm, trying to not really give up that fight that gives the other team an advantage, because we're still at the point where just losing one fight just sets one team back so far and really starts to snowball towards victory for another.
Yeah, that tends to happen because a lot of good teams will completely punish any mistake. So if you give them one fight, they're going to take that fight, they're going to place swords in your jungle, they're going to take your camps, they're going to take a tower on top of it and just extend the lead. And Kling,
oh yeah,
I feel like this is deja vu.
Yeah, he's just getting slowed down back inside of that Decker ultimate, and well, they missed the stun, but they should definitely have more than enough damage there. Nerf Mundo, he's pushed late and back underneath the tower with that charge, but yeah, there's not really enough personnel here, and I don't think the rotations, well, they are coming now back through the jungle. You just have to put the aggression on these towers so very quickly with the travel mode that's in the game right now.
Yeah, the travel mode you should be getting there a lot quicker, but it's because of the vision control. They didn't know where Oxygen were, and looks like a good defense from Team Carbon.
Yeah, Howitzer making it rain. Leighton's very tanky, but underneath the tower, he's probably not going to last that long, but he has managed to get away, and the rocket sniped down. There's a trap on the wall, but it's more like the target that's on the back of Sevarog, just tanking up way too much there.
Yeah, Sir not being there, he's the primary tank who can basically soak up all the damage from the towers, and because Rustress is constantly pressuring him, it looks like Rustress might be starting to take some damage on this tower in the right lane.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to go into towers as Iggy because those flame turrets, if there's someone underneath them, the tower is going to start attacking you, and well, Iggy might take a little bit of that, but not too much, so he really can't stay there for that long. Meanwhile, on the left side, blue, they're going to back up. Tower took a lot of damage, but they can't quite finish it off once again. And Feng Mao, he's running up here. He wants to get back into the fight. He's not going to wait for anything.
Yeah, Oxygen's going to be grabbing this black. Easy black, uncontested. They've been allowed to take this black every single time, and it shouldn't be the case. This is when Carbon need to be fighting, not under their tower when they can destroy the tower extremely quickly. I mean, you can choose between the two positions. You can fight under tower or fight at black, depending on what your team comp is good at. Under the tower, I think, is stronger for Team Carbon, but they're just giving free leads to Team Oxygen, which they shouldn't be doing.
So I guess Team Oxygen, they're going to look elsewhere on the map for their aggression. They can go over to the mid lane, lots of creeps pushing in there. And they do have some good hero presence, and that will probably be the first tower of the game going their way. A couple people getting in, and it's not actually his Detroit. It's going to keep him there, keeping him away from that tower defense. And the first tower of the game goes the way of Team Oxygen.
Oxygen, again, completely ahead of the game in comparison to Team Carbon at this moment. They just out-rotated, out-positioned. They saw the recalls from Team Carbon, because you can see the recalls across the map, even if you don't have vision, you see the blue beam into the sky. So you can see those recalls happening, and you just know you can go and push this objective right now.
So it's still a bit slower game than we're used to here, though. I mean, both teams are very slow to push towers. They're still working around the objectives, but the thing is with these very experienced teams is they work with them a lot better, and they don't give as much up. Now, you did say about the black buff, which led to a tower being taken, but in all, like, these teams are making a lot fewer mistakes and working with the map a lot better than most of the teams we've seen so far in this tournament.
Yeah, completely. I feel like there's going to be a match-defining fight that will happen in the next sort of 10 minutes. Whoever can take the most from that fight will be most likely able to snowball for a decent victory right here. And that's currently the state of the game right now. And Rustra's going for this tower, tanking it a bit too much, and these minions are going to take this blue side tower.
Yeah, so tower very low, and should be well, it was an easy take.
Yeah, it's really good from Rustra. His team needed that global experience. They've been struggling a little bit, and Rustra, as you can see, highest points on his team along with Detroit. Both the majors are sitting pretty good in comparison to the rest of their team.
Yeah, but you know, while that's happening, Team Oxygen, they're still able to take another tower, but there's going to be a nice shield slam on the 2-in. Steel shield put behind. And Mikey coming in here. Nice Decker ultimate, kind of zoning him back. It's Howitzer's going to make it rain, but it looks like Team Oxygen, they're going to evacuate the scene, trying to get away as fast as possible, and Team Carbon do not want to pursue this. They want to probably put in a tower push if a couple of these Team Oxygen members have to back up.
Now, Cameron played that absolutely beautifully. He used his shield, he saved that shield bash for when Feng decided to ultimate, pushing Feng out of range so his Earth Shattered missed, and that kept him alive. If he had not done that, that would have been a Deadeye Cameron right there in that fight, and this could have been a completely different outcome, and Carbon could have taken that tower.
Yeah, Deadeye Cameron kind of reminds me of the impending suicide of Apple products that's probably going to come in because of all the people that adopted them are part of the Illuminati now. So they're going to shut all the devices and ruin everybody's lives, and I saw it coming.
Now, a bit of bad news right now. Klinghoffer.
You're not even going to respond to that?
Yeah. Klinghoffer has disconnected.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the second time a Sparrow did today.
It's not a pretty sight. Hopefully he can come back into this game. I potentially feel like it's connection issues, and it's not a pretty sight in this game, to be honest. And it's just unlucky, to be honest. I had hoped we're going to get a stronger game. Now, Oxygen depends on how lenient they're going to be in the next couple minutes, but I suspect they're not going to take their foot off this gas pedal right now. They're going to be pushing and punishing as much as they possibly can right now.
Yeah, it's a weird thing in Paragon. You can't pause, and they don't tell you straight up if a player disconnects. Like, you kind of have to look at the scoreboard. Maybe these players just know by now, but it's not really something that's brought to the forefront of information. Like, I can be on a team, and maybe I'm not the most observant of people, but I would hardly even notice if a player is AFK, just because it's so hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, the horrible part about it is that it's their main source of damage. It's their carry, their late game powerhouse in Kling, and he's not gonna be farming at this point in time. He's just gonna be slowly falling further and further behind, which is just gonna make this really tricky for Carbon.
Well, hopefully the Sparrow reconnects sometime. That is the second time that the Sparrow disconnected today, which makes me think that possibly the hero's a little bit bugged. Kappa. We are going to see a little bit of a push here, just kind of waiting for that from Team Oxygen, because, I mean, there is no Sparrow on the map, and that's most of the damage. They're still taking a lot of harass right now, though. Murdoch's going to find Mundo inside the jungle, though, but little does the Mundo know that he's got a couple of heroes behind him as well. Tries to steal some away, and he'll hit it on the one. Talkfoot, though, yeah, he's right on top of him, and he's going to have that Vines there if he wants. He's going to use the harass to kind of zone him out. And Mundo, yeah, knocked out of the park by Leighton. Now Detroit, he's pulled back in on the howitzer. Gonna drop down a nice make it rain from above, but he can't really get too far out. He's gonna sit in the middle of it, try to do some more damage to Team Oxygen, but he's hit with a slow bubble, and I think this might be the end of Mr. Howitzer's life.
4v5 is always going to be a tough thing, especially when you don't have any vision in your own jungle, especially in that blue side. And Oxygen, they're going to constantly punish you for this. They're going to take every advantage they get to win this match, and it's going to be tricky. We have to hope that Klinghoffer can get back into this game, and hope that they can get Oxygen to make a mistake, because that's what it's going to need for them right now. Oxygen, they're going to take all the jungle, they're going to take the blacks, they're going to take their own camps, and they're going to probably be looking for this all prime soon.
Yeah, I think at this point they do realize that there was a disconnected player. They're not pushing too hard, but they are taking a few towers. I think at this point they just don't want to give up too much, right? I mean, they have the advantage with the player being disconnected, but they're still kind of not really hitting the gas too hard.
Yeah, they have no reason to because they're already starving most of their team of all their resources. It's the finals of a game. Tensions are going to be high, nerves are going to be high. They're going to be wanting to take this as safe as possible, take the clean route to victory, and just take towers one by one, decisively, controlled, and push in a sort of dedicated and stable manner. Because if you make a mistake at this point in the game, it gives the enemy team a comeback potential. And by taking this route, while yes, they aren't finishing quickly, they're slowly winning, and the enemy team have essentially no control over it, and it can be quite demoralizing to lose in such a scenario.
You talked a little bit about how important this is for the teams. Now, seriously, like ignoring that this is an event you've been casting all day, I'm sure it means a lot to you, but I mean, I don't know if there's a prize pool. Does it really mean a whole lot to the teams? Like, what exactly does winning this mean to them?
For a lot of these teams, they want to showcase their talents. They want to showcase their talents to the community, to showcase their talents to anyone else who's watching, to showcase that. Look, I am good at this game. This game has potential. These are the skills we can offer in this game. These are the mechanics we can show off. This is a potential future esport, and these players are putting their heart into the game. To be fairly honest, because considering the viewership, considering everything, it's pretty small right now, and these players are what's going to make this game happen or not.
I mean, definitely people want to see the good play, and it's really a shout out to all the content makers of the game, everybody who makes every tournament, stream, player, team, and all the YouTube videos out there. Definitely doing a lot to keep this game afloat, and the reason I'm casting this is really just because I believe in the game a lot. Like, I'm a huge Dota player, but I just look at this game and it feels so good to me to play it. So just being able to cast this right now for you guys, and thank you all for watching, but really it's all about the players right now, and I'm really happy to be able to show you their skills here, give you a little bit of an exhibition.
A bit of good news after the soppy, long discussion about this game. Klinghoffer is back in the game. He's sitting in red lane. He's sitting in red lane. He's farming up. That's going to be really good for Team Carbon right now to get their fifth man back. And let's hope he can get some farm up and get back into this game.
A bunch of Team Oxygen members are running over to the mid rampage that's pushing out the lane, hoping that Team Carbon cannot rotate over fast enough. Sorry about that abrupt change back into the game after all that mushy stuff, but yeah, this is what we're really here for, right? So they take the tier 2 tower mid, kind of outmaneuvering Team Carbon here, and you know, Kling is back, but Kling is also level 9. That's pretty far behind. I really think this path to victory right now for Team Carbon this game is kind of really difficult.
Yeah, it's the same with Nerf Mundo. Nerf Mundo's all points. And because he's been a steel support, he hasn't been given that much resources. So he's kind of just there to use his ultimate and his charge. His shield is an added bonus, but he's essentially what they're going to want is shield slam and take out someone, basically, with that. And that's going to be the avenue to winning this match. But Oxygen hasn't given them that opportunity at all. Not even in the slightest. And Certified, trying to clear a ward, kind of vanished as he tried clearing it. And this is ballsy. This is extremely ballsy from Team Carbon.
Or
they're taking prone right now.
They are. They're getting scouted out by Faye as well, and she's going to tell her team she's being very sneaky, just waiting on the high ground. But oh man, it's just a decision right now for Team Oxygen. Do you try and fight this, or do you try to push in? And they seemed a little bit indecisive for a second, but they're going to run over here. This Prime Orb, though, it's almost down, and Team Carbon, they might be on their way back into this game.
And that is a lot of card experience points. They don't even need to care about dropping the orb, but they do need to get out.
Yeah, they're going to get pulled in by the Fae, though. This might be exactly the fight they wanted to try to avoid. Talkflick just being so aggressive, creating havoc in the Team Carbon ranks, and B Certified. He is the wall. He's a rampage, and he's full of flesh, and he's going to try to stop these guys in. Nerf Mundo, he's going to be down. So is the Feng Mao. And Rustress, he's trying to back up, but I don't know if it's going to be in time. He's got 2 tanks just smacking him down, blocking the way. He doesn't have too much health. A Sparrow can't do so much, but he's going to get under the safety of his tower. They might have taken the orb, but, you know, Team Oxygen, they take the fight and possibly a push down mid.
Teacher taking the clever route. He realized they're not going to win that fight, and he has the orb, so he legged it completely out of that fight, just to hold on to this orb prime and make sure they don't lose that and give that up. Because if they did, Oxygen would be in prime position just to drop it, whereas Detroit can't really drop it. They haven't taken down the towers, and it's going to be a pretty tricky drop.
Yeah, it's going to be a tricky drop, especially with that tier 1 tower up. A little bit of a push on mid. They need to show up with some more personnel. Rampage is on the side with Rock, and it's hit the howitzer. Maybe they can absolutely burst him down. Oh, he pushes 2 back with the home run slam. Iggy's going to be going forward with it. Detroit sent back to his tower with a nice bomb place. And late in, he's killed the howitzer, but he might pay with it with his life. Just so much damage, but is he actually going to get out? The fire is not going to be enough to burn him down, but here comes in from the side Mikey, just jumps for him, and he'll be able to find the kill, but he's just so far in. They are all in here. Steel Slam only on to 2, and they're going to pull a couple more in with the Ivies. They're just being absolutely split apart here. Talkflit very low. All these heroes are just taking so long to kill. Another fire turret gets put down by Iggy. He's slowed down by the bubble. A little bit more damage. Can the Decker find it? Not able to hit him. And Decker is in the middle of a couple of those fire spirits. I think she might be taking a fall here, but there's a nice rock from Rampage. And it's done?
The orb's still on Carbon side,
there,
which is really good. It looked like Marty had it from a bit, but that might have just been a spectator bug. And Marty, bit too deep. Rest of the team has left him. Now, the interesting part is Carbon were in a position where they shouldn't have been pushing that inhib, purely because even if they get that inhibitor, Oxygen, I mean, if Oxygen get that inhibitor, Carbon still has the orb, but they can just instantly dunk it and get their inhib right back up. They never had an avenue to drop the orb off themselves into the enemy location, but they could have always brought their own back up.
So after that huge fight in the mid lane, Team Carbon, they've got a little bit more wind in their sails, and unfortunately there's not a pirate hero yet in Paragon, but you know, they're still definitely sailing along in this lane. And did Mikey? Yeah, he just tried to turn in the orb to his own spot, which actually doesn't do anything right now. So
yeah, they changed it. You can't turn it into your own spot unless an inhib is down. I think he was trying to turn it in purely because if you do, then the enemy team can't take it. But you can't do that anymore, and it's still going to time out, and it's still good play from Carbon because of the amount of CXP Orb gives them, and it also the fact that it denies it from Team Oxygen.
Right. So definitely
that's the most crucial part. Yeah, hugely high risk, but it paid off for them because they managed to get it and deny it from Oxygen, because now Oxygen have to try push without an Orb Prime buff, which is what characteristically we've seen them do all day long. They take that Orb, then they push for these inhibitors, but they can't right now.
Yeah, so it's going to take them a little bit more time for them to really take these towers down. And, well, there is a couple of black buff creeps here. Not the buff one. They just kind of leave those other ones up. And some good stacks for Sevarog to keep going. He's getting those stacks up. You can see all those spikes appearing on him. But he's got quite a ways to go.
Yeah, time is exactly what Carbon needs right now. They need to stall this out a little bit more. They need to get even on card points, and the best way to do that is just to sit and farm.
Imagine if Team Carbon come back from this. They had a DC, they had a Sparrow who got a little bit behind, but they're actually not looking too terrible in this match.
No, they've shown that they can hold their own, and hopefully, if Team Oxygen doesn't make any more mistakes, Team Carbon should pounce on that. And we're gonna hopefully see some good fights coming up right here in the red side lane when Team Oxygen pushing this tower.
Yeah, Rustress coming in from the side is going to get scouted out a little bit. He's dropping a bunch of wards down. Beef Certified is going to take care of those. And Team Oxygen, they are making a beeline back for their base. I am outside the map. They are going to just go completely back. They don't want to fight here. They don't want to go into Team Carbon right now. They're just so scared of this fight that Team Carbon have.
I think Oxygen should be looking to brute force something right now. They need it. They've got such a huge... Certified sitting on 45. Cameron, well, he's sitting on a hell of a lot. He has a huge amount to spend, and they're all spending their card points right now. So they're probably going to be looking to fight now after they've all spent on this advantage. And I think they need to, because they can't give Carbon time to farm up.
So this is really where Team Oxygen make their stand. They spent all their card points, taking every last bit of advantage that they have. They want to cash that in and really make sure that they're ready for the next fight, because these next couple fights will decide the game.
Now, Leighton is gone for the Stone Tooth Heart, which is a pretty interesting item to get on Sevrog. It provides a lot of stats that he needs. He's decided to get quite a bit of pen into this build, and he's stacking quite hefty upgrades with the 4-point beta health. And it's interesting because it gives him stats you don't get on Sevrog a lot apart from the health. Like the physical pen isn't key to what you want to do on him, but it's going to be really strong against characters like Rustras who stack a lot of armor.
Still, Team Oxygen trying to spread the map a little bit, I don't know, they're grouping up, maybe making a play for the tier 2, or maybe they're just going to go for some economic damage, taking down this Harvester here, but they seem a little bit aimless at this point and really need to make sure that the lanes are pushing in.
Yeah, it's just sort of free harvest. The harvester is more, like as you said, a bit of a denial. It's not going to be too much of a problem. It's the only time it becomes a problem is if everyone sold their keys, which it looks like they have. So they're not going to be able to rebuild that harvester anytime. And Oxygen taking a pretty slow route. They have such a lead. I think it's kind of uncharacteristic from what we've seen today, and I think they're taking their time. They want to secure this victory in a controlled manner. But I feel like it's a bit too slow. They have such a huge advantage that they really need to be pressing right now because Orb is going to be coming up soon as well. So they might be looking for that. They've got Black. Their options are open. They could wait for Orb. They can try push with Black. I quite like them pushing with Black now, then going back to the Orb afterwards.
So this tier 2 tower that was salvaged, I mean, maybe we're going to see a fast push onto it. Lots of damage being done, but I think this might be where Orange want to try to stand. They've taken the tower. Rampage, he's getting pushed back by Howitzer, but Sevrog, he's just going right in. He's pushed Klingelhofer back. Klingelhofer, he's in the middle of everything, in the middle of that Decker arena of death. Yo, I'm Mikey. He's just going to get stuck on it a little bit. Steel Ultimate just goes back, trying to get away from the fight, going for a good position, but Rustras, yeah, he's called out a little bit. Leighton, taking a lot of damage, going to put the stun down, actually hits on the Nerf Mundo. And these players have taken a lot of damage. Now they can kind of consolidate a little bit. Only the Sparrow has been taken down.
But Sparrow is their main damage source currently, along with Mikey and Rustras, and Detroit. So the different sources of damage, Sparrow is their only major physical damage. Mundo is so far behind that he doesn't provide much physical damage.
Yeah, well, here comes the minion wave, and they want to try to take down this inhibitor as fast as possible. Mikey gets hit by a rock. He might be a little bit far up, but he's just keeping Team Oxygen away from the precious tower. Steel Shield is stopping them for a little bit more in Talk Flick. Oh no, he's taking the tower, and that's exactly what a Fate does not want from her life. She needs to go maybe get some ice cream or something, because that tower made her feel really bad. Rustras goes right in, puts the fire turret down, and Feng Mao in the middle of it all. Team Carbon just completely healed up right now, and they want to go for this fight. Leighton hits Mikey back. Mikey nearly dead. In fact, he is certified. He's got another Rampage ultimate up, and he's going to be very angry. Just goes right for him, and now they try to disengage. They did lose a Sevrog in that engagement.
Carbon just trying to pick as many fights off. They didn't want to give Oxygen this free recall. Carbon could potentially run for this orb right now. Oxygen have to recall. Carbon are looking pretty healthy, and they elect to recall. It looks like they are going to go for it. And it's again a high risk reward play, and if this works out for them, they can get a huge advantage. But it's going to be a 4v4. Oxygen's going to be making it at the same time. They should have ran directly there.
So they're going to take a little bit of time with it, and, well, they do manage to get over to the prime area, which the last time they took it, they kind of delayed the game a little bit for Team Oxygen, because if they had picked up that orb, which they definitely would have if they had the time and the positioning, they probably would have ended the game. I mean, they had quite the big advantage at that point. But this time, the Fae skying them out a bit earlier this time, and Team Oxygen looks like they are ready to go in on this prime.
Mikey spawned, Sevrog still hasn't spawned. It's going to be pretty close. If Mikey can get there in time, he can turn this fire.
They pull them in with the vines and the long arm of the wall onto Mundo. Mundo nearly dead. They need the steal for this, and he's going to ultimate away right over that wall. Howitzer is going to make it rain from the sky, and Rustras, yeah, he's way too far out. Just complete pit control from Team Oxygen.
And that is going to be orb going over to Oxygen. Carbon, a bit too slow getting to this orb. They shouldn't have recalled, I think. I think that was a mistake. They should have rushed straight to the orb if they wanted to take it. And when they recalled, they should have just gone for the vision. They were never going to take it at the same pace because Oxygen had recalled. They're already on their way at the exact same time as them. And as we saw, they got punished for it.
Yeah, it's not nearly like the last time they went for Prime Orb. Like, they got it scouted out last time, but the team was just so far away on the other side of the map that there was no time to react to it. But this time, they're in travel mode already, coming from their base. They know that the Prime is being done. Some excellent scouting done by Faye once again, just really laying her life on the line for the team, just making sure that they have a chance to win this match. And, well, here they come down from left again.
So taking that flanking position, just being a nuisance, he's going to start autoing at Detroit. And this is an really strong engage, and they should be able to drop off his orb.
Yeah, Detroit getting taken very late. It's going to be a nice line pulling 3 in. Once again, the Howitzer just taking so much. And Klingelhofer, he's trying to back up. They absolutely need the Sparrow's damage for this every single time. It's just her damage that's really the main thing. And, well, they're going to knock Nerf Mundo back with the home run swing of late. And I don't think they have nearly enough for this. The spikes from below. Feng Mao doing some good damage, but Nerf Mundo, he's going to use every bit of traversal that he has. And the laser, not on the mark.
No. The long arm of the law just not reaching his target. They still got a huge lead here with the all prime. They're probably going to be taking this inhib. And if they have enough time, pushing this lead with 45 seconds on the clock for Feng Mao, I suspect Oxygen are going to just try and go for it.
Yeah, there's 2 heroes down, a couple for some... I mean, it's a sizable amount, and I think they have enough time to either take care of the core or take care of these heroes. The Vine's going to pull all 3 of them in. There's a rock right in the face of Kleinhofer. Poor guy, he disconnected for a while. I got to think that affected the performance of Team Carbon, but in the end, Team Oxygen, it's game number 1 going their way in the grand finals of the ESL Play Paragon Community Cup.
Well played by Team Oxygen. Team Carbon, they had some downs, but they also had quite a lot of ups in that fight. They showed that they can win sort of small skirmishes, and they can punish Oxygen with some clever play by taking that orb. And I'm hoping Kling doesn't disconnect in this next game, because they can take this back. There is potential for Carbon right here to do the reverse sweep and make this go to 3 games. And I'd love to see it.
All right, so hopefully we do see that in game number 2, because if Team Oxygen win that, they're going to be the grand champions of this tournament, and that would be it for today. But can Team Carbon come back into it? Definitely would be interesting, and, you know, I think we could all do with some more Paragon. It would be great to go to a game 3, but we've got to get through game number 2 first. Stick around, guys. We've got some more Paragon coming right at you.